If aliens landed tomorrow, what's the first thing you'd say to them?
I always knew they would come to me. Since childhood, I heard voices in my head saying, "Wait, they're coming," and here they are.
The sky cracked open, revealing a sleek, silver ship hovering above my house.
A low hum vibrated through my bones as a hatch descended. I stepped forward, my heart pounding but my mind oddly calm.
I tilted my head up, locked eyes with the figures emerging, and said, "You are 5,000 years late."
Where were you when we needed answers? The tallest one stepped closer, its elongated limbs moving with an eerie grace. "We had to wait," it replied, its voice not spoken, but planted directly into my thoughts. The timing had to be perfect. The others surrounded me, their large, luminous eyes filled with something I couldn't quite name: curiosity, regret, or something more complex.
A metallic staircase extended from the ship, and with a single nod, they invited me aboard. Inside, the air was thick with an unrecognizable scent, like rain on metal. The walls pulsed with a soft, green glow, shifting as if the ship itself was alive.
"You have questions," the leader said. "We have answers."
But they are not what you expect. I swallowed hard, my pulse quickening. Is humanity a mistake? I asked.
The alien tilted its head.
No, you are an experiment, one that did not go as planned.
A screen flickered on, displaying images: ancient civilizations, lost knowledge, forgotten wars.
We seeded your world long ago, the alien continued.
We watched, we waited.
But your kind strayed, became violent.
Self-destructive. My stomach twisted as I saw the rise and fall of empires, the bloodshed, the suffering.
We debated intervening, it said, but free will was part of the test. My fists clenched.
And now?
Why return now?
The alien's gaze locked onto mine.
Because the experiment is failing, my breath hitched. We were supposed to evolve beyond war, beyond greed.
Instead, we repeat the same mistakes. I thought about history, the endless cycles of destruction and rebirth. So what happens now?
I asked, my voice barely a whisper.
The alien pressed its long fingers against my forehead, and suddenly, I saw everything. Flashes of future events filled my mind: cities crumbling, oceans rising, stars blinking out.
But beyond the chaos, a glimmer of something else.
Hope. There is a way, the alien said.
But it requires change. True change. My vision cleared, and I found myself trembling.
What do you want me to do? The alien stepped back.
Let them.
Show them what we failed to teach. Or let the cycle continue.
I turned toward the open hatch, looking down at my world.
The same streets, the same people, unaware of how close we were to the edge. Could I change them?
Could anyone? I took a deep breath and stepped forward. I'll try, I said. I'm sure if I believe my own words. The alien nodded. Then there is still hope. The hatch closed behind me, and in an instant, the ship was gone. Standing alone beneath the endless sky, I felt the weight of knowledge pressing down on me. The voices in my head had been right all along. They were coming.
And now they had given me a choice.
Humanity's fate was no longer in their hands.
It was in mine.
When the ship landed in my yard, I came out in my pajamas with a cup of coffee.
The first thing I said was, "Are you sure you want to talk to us?
We can't even live peacefully with each other." The air hummed as the hatch opened, revealing figures that were taller than any human, their skin shifting between colors like liquid metal. One of them stepped forward, its voice slipping into my mind. "We know," it said.
"That is why we are here."
I frowned, tightening my grip on the mug.
"That doesn't sound good," I muttered. The alien's eyes, if they were eyes, darkened. "It isn't," it confirmed.
"You are approaching an irreversible point.
Your species teeters on the edge of self-destruction." I let out a dry laugh. "Yeah, no offense, but we've been saying that for years. What makes this different?" The alien tilted its head.
"Because this time, there will be no recovery."
A screen materialized in the air between us, showing images I couldn't understand at first. Then I saw it: earthquakes splitting cities in half, oceans swallowing coastlines, storms turning the sky black. "This isn't a warning," the alien continued.
"It's a confirmation.
"The collapse has already begun." My stomach twisted.
You mean?
"This is inevitable."
The alien nodded.
"Unless your species makes a choice it has never made before." I swallowed hard. What kind of choice? The image shifted. Now showing something even worse was breaking out over dwindling resources. Governments crumbling, people turning on each other. Cooperation, the alien said simply. Your people must unite, not out of necessity, but out of understanding. If you fail, your planet will not sustain you. I rubbed my temples, the weight of their words pressing down. You are asking for a miracle. The alien stepped closer. No, we are asking for survival. Its form shimmered, and for a moment, I saw flashes of other civilizations, some thriving, others wiped out. We have seen this pattern before. It continued.
Many times. The outcome is almost always the same. I exhaled slowly. And what happens if we listen? If we change?
The alien's expression was unreadable.
Then there is hope.
But it must happen now. The ship let out a deep, resonant sound, like the universe itself was breathing. We cannot interfere beyond this, the alien said.
The choice is yours. I stared at the images, my mind racing.
Humanity had never been good at working together. Could we really turn things around? What if we fail?
I asked.
The alien hesitated.
Then, in time, your planet will belong to someone else. A chill ran down my spine. The hatch began to close, and I felt panic rising in my chest.
Wait, I called out.
Why warn me? I'm nobody. I can't change the world. The alien's form flickered, its voice a whisper in my head. Every great change begins with one. Then, in an instant, they were gone.
The ship vanished into the sky, leaving only silence and a sinking feeling in my gut. I stood there, coffee long gone cold, staring at the empty sky.
Their message echoed in my mind. Humanity's fate wasn't in their hands, it was in ours. I didn't know if we could change.
But for the first time, I was terrified of what would happen if we didn't. I was the first one to approach their ship. The whole town had gathered, staring in stunned silence at the massive, glowing vessel hovering just a few feet above the ground. The air smelled charged, like the moments before a thunderstorm. The aliens stood at the base of their ramp, their tall, shimmering forms waiting for some grand gesture. Instead, I cleared my throat and said, "Can you fix our internet?"
It's been down for a week.
They didn't respond at first.
Their large, silver eyes blinked sideways, not up and down.
A few exchanged glances, and then one stepped forward. "We traveled millions of light years to hear this."
Its voice echoed in my mind. I shrugged. I mean, yeah. It's been a nightmare. No streaming, no work. Even my neighbor started talking to people in person.
"It's chaos," the alien sighed. A strange, warbling sound, then turned to the others.
After a moment of what seemed like silent debate, one of them lifted a device small, metallic, pulsing with blue light.
It hovered above their hand as they studied me. "Your civilization is on the brink of collapse," the alien said. "And your priority is Wi-Fi." I nodded.
Well, yeah. How else am I supposed to know if civilization is collapsing?
"Twitter's been down too."
The alien made a noise that I could only assume was frustration.
Still, they moved forward, scanning the air with their device. The sky flickered, almost as if reality itself glitched.
My phone buzzed in my pocket.
I pulled it out, eyes widening as notifications flooded the screen. "Whoa," I muttered.
It's faster than ever. The alien crossed its arms, or whatever counted as arms.
"Your connection was inefficient. We stabilized it."
However, this is a temporary fix. I barely heard them as I scrawled. Man, I missed a lot.
The government really shut down.
Oh, wait, never mind. That was a joke post. The alien tilted its head.
"Your species relies on this to function?" I nodded, watching a video load instantly. More than food sometimes. They exchanged glances again, this time with something close to concern.
Your kind is stranger than expected, one muttered. Another alien gestured to the sky, and a holographic display appeared, showing Earth from above. Your species is dangerously close to self-destruction, it said.
"You fight over resources, pollute your own air, and spread misinformation," I shrugged. "Yeah, but now I can Google how to fix it." The alien's expression didn't change.
You won't, it said simply.
"You never do." That hit harder than expected. The ship let out a low hum as the aliens prepared to leave. One turned back to me.
We will return when you are ready. I raised an eyebrow.
"Ready for what?" It hesitated. "For something greater than this." The ramp retracted, and in a flash, they were gone. The sky returned to normal, and I stood there, staring at my phone, their words echoing in my head.
I opened a new tab, my fingers hovering over the search bar.
Maybe they were right. Maybe we needed to be better. Then a thought hit me. I had the fastest internet in history. I grinned and typed, "Fastest gaming setup 2025. Maybe saving the world could wait until tomorrow." When the aliens got off the ship, I approached them with my phone in my hand.
Their tall, shimmering bodies reflected the neon lights of the city behind me. Their eyes, large and glowing, studied everything in eerie silence. I cleared my throat. "Do you know what TikTok is?" They exchanged puzzled glances before one finally spoke, its voice slipping into my mind.
"We have been studying your culture. This is the strangest thing we've ever seen. I grinned, scrolling through my feed.
Oh, you have no idea. I held up my phone and played a video some guy dancing with his cat while text-to-speech narrated nonsense.
The alien's head tilted at an unnatural angle. This is considered entertainment? It asked.
Yeah, I said, swiping to another. And this one's about a guy pretending to be a medieval knight in Walmart. The alien let out a strange, wobbling sound.
I think it was laughing.
More of them gathered around, their interest growing.
I showed them viral challenges, cooking hacks, and conspiracy theories so bizarre even they looked concerned. Your species appears to lack logical consistency, one observed. Yeah, but that's what makes us fun, I replied. 1 minute, we're inventing quantum mechanics. The next, we're debating if a hot dog is a sandwich. The alien stared at me, then at the screen.
Fascinating. As the night went on, they became obsessed.
One figured out how to make an account and immediately got sucked into an algorithm spiral.
I do not understand, it muttered, eyes wide.
This man pours soda into a sink, and yet I cannot look away. Another watched a cooking tutorial and whispered, "We must attempt this." Garlic bread. A third had already mastered a dance trend.
Humanity had corrupted them. By sunrise, their leader turned to me, solemn. We came to determine if your kind was worth saving, it said. At first, we doubted.
Your wars, your pollution, your endless chaos. It glanced at the phone in its hand, where a video of a raccoon stealing a donut played on repeat.
But this
is
inexplicably compelling. I crossed my arms. So, what's the verdict?
The leader exhaled a strange musical hum. Your civilization is deeply flawed, it admitted. But any species capable of creating this level of absurdity is too unique to destroy. The others nodded in agreement, still scrolling.
We will delay judgment, it said.
For now, I smirked. So, you're telling me that memes saved humanity? The alien blinked, then slowly nodded.
It appears so.
The ship's engines rumbled as they prepared to leave.
Before stepping aboard, the leader hesitated.
What is the meaning of ratioed? It asked. I grinned.
Oh, buddy, you're not ready for that yet. The door sealed, and in an instant, they were gone, leaving nothing behind but scorch marks on the pavement and a notification on my phone. New follower, at extraterrestrial vibes.
I sighed, watching the sky return to normal.
The fate of humanity had rested in Tecto's hands, and somehow we survived.
I chuckled, opening the app again. The aliens were right about one thing.
No matter how strange it got, I couldn't look away.
I always felt like I didn't belong in this world. When the aliens landed, I didn't run, didn't hide. I walked straight up to them. The air around their ship pulsed with an energy I could feel in my bones.
As they stepped onto the ground, their shimmering forms towering over me, I took a deep breath and asked, "Have you come for me?"
The tallest among them nodded. A strange, cold certainty settled inside me.
I had always known this day would come.
The leader reached out, and the second they touched my forehead, memories rushed in. A sky that wasn't Earth's.
Stars that burned in impossible colors.
A home I had never seen but somehow remembered. You are one of us, the alien said.
We placed you here as an experiment, to observe, to learn. My whole life, the feeling of being out of place. The dreams that didn't make sense, it all clicked into place. I wasn't human.
Not really.
I glanced back at the city behind me.
The flickering streetlights, the distant hum of traffic, the world I had spent years trying to understand. And now what?
I asked.
The alien gestured to the ship.
It is time to return.
Your purpose here is fulfilled. The words should have brought relief, but instead, I felt something else, hesitation. I have a life here, I murmured. Friends, a job.
People who I stopped myself.
Did they really know me? The alien tilted its head. You have always been an outsider, it said. Always searching for something beyond this world.
Now you can finally belong. I looked at my hands, human in appearance, but suddenly foreign to me.
They were right.
I had spent years feeling like a piece of a puzzle that didn't fit. But as I gazed at the familiar skyline, I wondered if being an outsider meant I didn't belong, or if it made me human after all.
What happens if I stay?
I asked.
The alien's eyes darkened. You will forget, it said.
Your memories of us, of your true origin, will fade.
You will live as they do, and in time, you will no longer question who you are. My heart pounded. A normal life, a real human life. I had wanted answers for so long, but now that I had them, I wasn't sure I wanted to let go of what I built. I turned back to the ship, staring at the open hatch. And if I go? The alien studied me, unblinking. You will see the universe as it truly is. You will know things no human ever could. but Earth will become a distant memory, and you will never return. My stomach twisted.
2 futures, both uncertain. Do I have to decide now? I asked. The alien nodded.
We do not wait.
I stood at the edge of everything, my choice hanging between 2 worlds.
The street behind me, the stars ahead.
A life of questions or a life of certainty. I had spent years wondering where I belonged.
Now, for the first time, I realized I had to choose.
I took a deep breath, my heart hammering as I finally stepped forward toward my answer.
The last thing I saw before the light swallowed me was the Earth, small and distant beneath the stars.
Maybe, in another life, I would have stayed, but this was who I was.
Who I had always been.
And it was time to go home.
I am a physicist, and when I saw their ship descend, I did not freeze in fear or grab a camera. I grabbed my notebook.
As the aliens stepped onto my lawn, their bodies shifting like liquid metal, I rushed toward them, breathless. Can you explain what quantum physics is? I asked, pen poised, eyes wide. They exchanged a look, then one of them emitted a strange melodic sound. Laughter? You don't even know the basics, it finally said.
My stomach clenched. Try me. The tallest one extended a limb, and suddenly, equations flooded my mind. Not just numbers, concepts beyond human comprehension, dimensions folding into themselves, particles existing in multiple states at once, not because of probability, but because reality itself was a layered construct.
Your theories are crude approximations, it said. You see only shadows on the wall. I scribbled furiously, but my hands were shaking. So, wave function collapsed. The alien cut me off.
A misunderstanding.
Observation does not change reality.
Consciousness is not required.
The act of measuring does not force a choice.
Rather, all choices exist intertwined. My brain burned, but I nodded. Then parallel universes, not parallel.
Braided. I froze. That single word unraveled everything I thought I knew. They explained how time was not a straight line, not a branching tree, but a woven fabric where threads looped, twisted, and sometimes rewove themselves.
Causality is an illusion, one said. You do not move through time. You create it. I tried to speak, but my voice failed. If this was true, free will wasn't what we thought. It wasn't about choices, but about which patterns we reinforced. What about light?
I asked, desperate. Particle or wave?
The alien tilted its head. Neither. Both. Something else entirely.
Your language lacks the words to describe it. I gritted my teeth.
Then give me the words. It reached out, and for a moment, I saw it saw everything.
The universe wasn't made of particles or forces.
It was made of information, endlessly flowing, rewriting itself in an infinite cosmic algorithm. The knowledge was overwhelming.
My mind couldn't hold it all. My notebook fell to the ground. Pages filled with symbols I didn't remember writing.
Enough, one of them said, pulling back. Your brain is limited. You will forget most of this soon. My chest tightened.
Then why tell me?
The alien's form shimmered.
Because now you will ask the right questions.
I looked at the sky, everything feeling both enormous and insignificant.
My life's work years of research, calculations, late-night debates felt like a child's scribbles in the sand. Will I ever understand? I asked, voice barely a whisper.
The leader's eyes gleamed.
Perhaps in time, if you stop searching for answers and start understanding the questions. With that, they stepped onto their ship, and in an instant, they were gone. I stood there, staring at the empty sky, my mind unraveling and reforming at the same time. I had glimpsed something beyond human understanding, and even as the knowledge faded, a new certainty remained.
Science wasn't about knowing, it was about never stopping the search.
I picked up my notebook, staring at the strange symbols, my hands trembling.
I didn't understand them. Not yet, but one day I would. When the aliens got off the ship, I couldn't believe my eyes.
Among their shimmering, shifting forms, one of them looked exactly like my ex-girlfriend.
Same sharp eyes, same smirk, even the way she tilted her head when she was amused. My stomach twisted.
Why do you look like my ex?
I blurted out.
The being stepped forward, staring at me with an expression that was too familiar.
We take the form that is convenient for your perception, it replied. I swallowed hard, my brain scrambling for an explanation.
That's not possible, I muttered. She was real. She was human. The alien tilted its head, just like she used to when she caught me lying.
Was she? It asked.
My breath caught in my throat. Memories of her flashed in my mind, times when she seemed to know what I was thinking. The way she disappeared without explanation, the strange, unreadable look in her eyes.
No, I whispered, shaking my head. She had a job.
A family. She wasn't. The alien took a step closer. Those were constructs.
Necessary to complete our study. My pulse pounded in my ears.
Study? The air around us felt heavier, charged with something I couldn't describe.
We have been observing your kind for centuries, it said. Some of us integrate more closely.
She was assigned to you.
A cold realization spread through me.
So, what?
My relationship was a science experiment? The alien's expression didn't change, but I could feel something behind its gaze. It was necessary, it said. We needed to understand human attachment, emotion, trust. My fists clenched. And what did you learn?
For the first time, the alien hesitated. Then, in a voice that was almost too soft, it said, more than we expected.
My stomach twisted.
I thought back to the moments that felt too perfect, too strange.
The times she had asked me deep, almost intrusive questions. The way she had left suddenly, without real explanation.
Did she care about me at all? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper.
The alien stared at me for a long time. She was not supposed to, it said finally. But she did.
I felt my legs go weak.
Where is she?
The alien hesitated again.
She was recalled. Contact was terminated. My chest ached in a way I didn't expect. So, she's gone? Silence. Then, she disobeyed orders to remain distant.
She did not want to leave, my breath hitched.
And now?
The alien's form flickered. She is no longer permitted to exist among your kind.
I took a step forward, my mind racing. Then let me see her, I demanded. The alien regarded me with something that almost looked like sadness. That is not possible, it said.
Her form was erased. I clenched my jaw. Then why are you here?
The alien turned, glancing back at its ship. To see if you remember her. My breath caught. Do you? It asked.
My heart pounded as I looked into those familiar eyes, knowing the person I had loved had never really been human. But she had felt real.
She had mattered.
And now she was gone.
The ship began to glow, the air humming around it. I opened my mouth, but no words came.
The alien nodded slightly, as if it understood, then stepped back onto the ship.
And just like that, she knew it was gone.